Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how to make this delicious brioche dough filled with apple and cinnamon in the form of bun and rolls. So to start with, we need a poolish. A poolish is basically water, flour, and a little bit of yeast. Mix everything and let it sit on the kitchen counter for about 3 to 4 hours, or put it in the fridge overnight. It should be nice and active. Then you need a good sourdough starter. So I like to measure everything in the bowl as I go along, add all the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients, and then get the hook attachment and let the mixer do all the work. So start on low and then go to medium high. This is a wet dough, so don't be tempted to add more flour. Just be patient, give it about 15 minutes or so, and the dough will come together. Your butter has been sitting out for about half hour, and now you want to add the butter a little bit at a time until it's incorporated in the dough. So this is the kind of dough we're looking for. It has to be nice and stretchy. Now our dough is ready to go through its first fermentation. We've got a couple of options here. You can either do the first fermentation in the fridge, which is about 12 to 14 hours. That way we develop more flavor. Or you can put it on your kitchen counter for about 4 hours. Something that is important is to make sure your dough is resting in a cool place in your kitchen. Otherwise the butter will melt, the dough will feel greasy. So you want the dough to be 2.5 times its size. To make the apple cinnamon filling, simply toss everything with butter and let the apples melt in with the sugar, forming a caramel. We want the apples to be nice and soft and most of the liquid to be evaporated. So while our apple mixture is cooling down, let's sheet out the dough. So I'm bringing out the dough on a floured surface, just giving it a couple of slaps to deflate the dough. Now I like to open up the dough with my fingers first. Make sure it's nicely floured on top and bottom. And before I start using a rolling pin. It's a beautiful soft dough. So once in a while, as you notice, I keep moving the dough around, making sure that it's not stuck to the wood. If it does feel wet, just flour a little bit more and keep rolling out. You want to roll it out as thin as possible. That way we'll get a lot of apple mixture in our mix. Now spread out the cold apple mixture all over and start rolling it out. If the dough does feel a little bit wet, just flour your hands a bit and don't be afraid to stretch out the dough while you're rolling it. You want to be mindful that you're rolling the dough as tight as possible. If you notice, I'm picking up the dough and giving it a little bit of a stretch before I roll it again. So seal the ends and then I give it a good roll again with a little bit more flour just to make sure everything's nicely sealed. While the dough is resting a little bit, I've got my parchment paper here and I'm buttering it with some powdered sugar and walnuts. I'm basically forming a little bit of a caramelized bottom for my rolls. So cut the rolls with a dental floss. This way you get the best clean cuts. And do you see how beautiful these swirls are? Just line them up loosely on the baking tray. You're probably going to need another small tray to do the other batch. So this is going to go for its second proof. I usually cover it with a plastic wrap and then a kitchen towel. You can put it in the fridge and bake it the next day, or you can put it somewhere cool in your kitchen counter for about maybe 2 to 3 hours until it's doubled its size. Egg wash it, and then sprinkle with some icing sugar and almond flakes. Bake for about 35 minutes until nice and golden. So by now your whole house smells like a French patisserie with that smell of rich butter and sugar. Another option that I'm showing you here is to form these gorgeous apple cinnamon rolls. So what do? You take a piece of brioche and fill it in with the apple mixture. Let it go through second proving and do the same, icing sugar, and bake at 350 for about 35 minutes. And you have these gorgeous buns. I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to subscribe.